Hello guys, welcome to Study for Civil Services. In this video, we are going to cover NCERT Class 7 Geography, Chapter number 7. And we have already covered all the chapters of NCERT Class 6 Geography and the 6 chapters of NCERT Class 7 Geography. And in the coming days, we are going to cover NCERT from Class 6 to Class 12 for Geography, History and Polity. So let's start our chapter. In this chapter, we will discuss human environment, settlement, transport and communication, and we will also see the exercises, NCERT exercises and solutions. This is a very simple chapter and very simple basic definitions are given in this chapter. Like early human beings depended entirely on the nature for food, clothing and shelter. And as the time passes, they learn new skills to grow food, to build homes, to and develop better means of transport and communication. And in this way, they modified the environment where they lived as per their requirement, as per the time, as per their demand. Now, what are the settlements? See, settlements are the places where people build their homes. So this is the most basic definition. Settlements are the places where people build their homes for living, for settlement, for fooding, for other activities. And early human beings used to live on the trees and in caves. And when they started to grow crops, it became necessary to have a permanent home. And that is why the settlement grew near the river valleys or near the water bodies, as water was available and land was fertile. And with the development of trade, commerce, and manufacturing, human settlements became larger and larger, and settlement flourished with the time. And also, in the history, we have read many civilizations that developed near the river valleys, like the civilization of Indus or the Harappa. It developed on the river of Indus and its tributaries, and then civilization of Mesopotamia, then civilization of Egypt are developed on the Tigris, Nile, and Ganges. Now, the place where a building or a settlement develops is called its site, and obviously, the natural selection of a for a ideal site would be favorable climate. Then there are various factors which affect the natural selection. So everybody needs favorable climate, availability of water for the cropping, for agriculture, for drinking, for bathing, and various type of purposes from the water. Then suitable land is also the most basic need, and then fertile soil. Now settlements can be permanent or temporary. See which settlements are occupied for a very short time. They are known as temporary settlements, like people living in deep forest, hot and cold deserts, and mountains. They often dwell in in such temporary settlement, and they practice activities like hunting, gathering, shifting, cultivation, and transhumance. Transhumance is the seasonal movement of people or seasonal movement of some of the tribal tribes which rear animals. They move from lower ground to the mountain during the summer season in the search of the new pastures, and in the winter season vice versa. And also shifting cultivation. But as we are becoming modern and we are adopting new technologies, and now settlements are becoming permanent settlements, and people build homes to live in permanently in the places. And now human also have developed technologies to build permanent settlement in the hill areas, in the mountain areas, and in the plateau areas. This was the discussion that why cities are being congested and why the number of people in the cities are increasing day by day, and which result in the formation of various type of slums and congested areas in the cities. And transhumance, as I've already told you, that it is a seasonal movement of people. People who rear animal move in the search of new pastures according to the changing seasons. And there is a Bhutia tribe, which is believed to be doing this activity in the northwest region of the India. And if we see from the above conversation, we can find two type of settlements. First one was the rural, and second one is the urban settlement. The villages are rural settlements where people are engaged in primary activities like agriculture, then fishing, then forestry, then craftswork and trading, and so on. And rural settlements, they can be of two types, either compact or scattered. A compact settlement is a very closely built area of dwellings or houses, and these are developed wherever flat land is available. Like we can see in the figure 7.2, the land available is flat, and that is why people build houses very nearby, and they look like very compact settlement. And scattered settlement, the houses are developed uh, with spaced, with space between them, and dwellings are spaced over an extensive area. And this type of settlement is mostly found in hilly tracts, mountainous areas, thick forest, and region of very extreme climate. And in rural areas, people build houses as per their as per their need and as per their to suit their environment. Like in the regions of heavy rainfall, they have slanting roofs so that water should not accumulate it in the roof. And the places where water accumulates in the rainy season, the houses are constructed on a raised platform or stilts, like it is shown on the 7.4 figure. And this is the area, and these type of houses are mostly found in the Meghalaya region, because Meghalaya region receives highest amount of water or highest amount of rainfall in the world, and so water generally keeps accumulating in the rainy season, and that is why the houses are constructed on a raised platform. And these raised structure like these are known as stilts, and they look like ladders. You can see in the 7.4 figure. And the very hot areas, the houses are very thick mud walled houses with thatched roofs are very common in the areas of hot climate to cope up with the heat. And also local materials like stones, mud, clay, straw, etc. are used to construct houses. Towns and are small areas, and the cities are very large urban settlements. And the difference between the rural and urban areas are that in the rural areas, people generally do depend on the primary activities, and they are doing activities like agriculture, fishing, and all those activities. And in the urban areas, the people are engaged in the manufacturing, trading, services. Now, if you see the transport is a means by which people and goods move. In the early days, it took a great amount of time to travel large distances, and people had to walk and used animals to carry their goods. But with the invention of the wheel, uh, t- transportation made very easier, and with the passage of time, different modes and means of transportation developed. But even today, in some areas of the world, people use animals for transport, like in our country, donkeys, mules, bullocks, and camels are very common to move goods, to move people. And also in the Andes mountains of South America, llamas are used, and yaks are used in the Tibet region of China. And the early traders from other countries also used to take several months to reach India, because in the early days no railway lines were there and no airport, No aircrafts were present, and so they used to travel from ships, and they took a very long route to the ocean, and then they took journey through these type of animals. So that is why the time taken in the earlier days for the trading and other purposes was very high. But as the technology developed, aeroplanes have made actually travel very faster, and now it takes almost 6 to 8 hours to travel from India to Europe, and around 13 to 14 or 18 hours to move from India to USA. So we can see that modern means of transport like aeroplane saves time and energy both. Now if you see, there are the four major means of transport. First one is the roadways, then railways, then waterways, then airways. And there are, if we will discuss about the roadways. See, the most commonly used means of transport, especially for short distances, are known as roads. They can be metalled or pakka road, or unmetalled or kacha road. You can see in this figure, 7.6 is the metal road, and this is pakka road. It is, and the 7.7 is the unmetalled road, and it is kacha road. It is generally found in the villages, and the metal road is found in the national highways and urban areas. And these days, because of the modernization, because of the technology upgradation, roads have also been built in the terrains like deserts, the forests, and even very high mountains like Himalayas, eastern Himalayas. And Manali Leh Highway in the Himalaya mountains is one of the highest roadways in the world. And roads built underground are known as subways or underpaths. You might have seen these type of subways, and the flyovers are built over the raised structure. So the difference between the subway and flyover is that the road built underground are known as subways or underpath, and the flyovers are always built over the raised structure. And there are several national and state highways in India. The latest development in this type of roads is known as the construction of expressways. Now, Government of India is building expressways. The Golden Quadrilateral Triangle, the Golden Quadrilateral actually connects the Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, the four largest metro of the India. And second form of transportation is known as railways. The railway carry heavy goods and people over long distances quickly and cheaply. And the invention of the steam engine and the industrial revolution helped in the speedy development of rail transport. And diesel and electric engines have largely replaced the steam engines, and in the places superfast trains have also been introduced to make the journey more faster. And these days, Government of India is also aspiring to introduce bullet trains which can move more than which can move with more than 350 km per hour. And the railway network is also well developed over the plain areas. So these are some of the characteristics of the railways, that they carry heavy goods and people over long distances quickly, and they are the cheaper than the roadways. And also these type of railway lines can be developed over the plain areas, and with the advanced technological skills have actually enabled laying of railway lines in difficult mountain terrains also. And but these are very few in number. But if you see overall Indian railway network is well developed, and it is largest in the Asia and fourth worldwide. And this is the fact that the train from Xining to Lhasa runs at an altitude of 4,000 meter above sea level, and the highest point where it passes is 5,000 meter, 5,072 meter, or 5 kilometer. And the Trans-Siberian Railway is the longest railway system connecting St. Petersburg in western Russia to Vladivostok on the Pacific coast. So it covers actually the whole of the Russia. It covers the western part of the Russia up to the eastern part of the Russia. And then the third mode of transport is known as waterways. And these type of waterways are were actually being used from the early days, and these are the cheapest mode of for carrying heavy and bulky goods over the long distances, and they also produce very less pollution as compared to the railways and roadways. Waterways are mainly of two types. First one is the inland waterways for the inner country movements and transit, and second one is the sea routes. They are for the international trade with the other countries. Now, if you see, inland waterways can be developed from the navigable rivers and lakes, and navigable rivers and lakes are used as inland waterways. And the government of India has actually developed five waterways in India. They are known as National Water One from Ganga to from Allahabad to Haldia, then National Waterways Two from Sadia to Dhubri in the Brahmaputra River, then National Waterways 3 and 4 and 5. So there are 5 and 6 is under development. And some of the inland waterways are Ganga Brahmaputra river system, and then the Great Lakes in the Northern America and the River Nile in Africa. And if you see, sea routes and oceanic routes are mostly used for transporting merchandise and goods from one country to another. And these routes are connected with the ports because all the ocean are also connected, and some of the important ports of the world are Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, New York, Los Angeles in North America, Rio de Janeiro in South America, then Durban and Cape Town in Africa, Sydney in Australia, London and Rotterdam in Europe. So all these major ports, seaports are connected because all the ocean of the world are connected, be it Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Southern Ocean, Arctic Ocean. All the oceans are connected, and through because all the ocean are connected, so these ports are also connected with each other, and that is why the sea routes and the oceanic route are mostly used for transporting merchandise and goods from one country to another. And inland waterways are used to move goods from one place or one state or one district or one region to another region. And fourth mode of transportation and the fastest mode of transportation, which developed in very early 20th century, and it is the recent development in the field of transportation, is known as airways, and it is also most expensive because of the high cost of the fuel. And you might have heard the term ATF, that is aviation turbine fuel, and it is very costly, and air traffic is adversely affected by the conditions like bad weather and like fog and storms, and it might be very risky also sometimes because of the terror attacks or failure of the aircraft system or because of some mistake of pilot. So there are various type of aircraft incident and where aircraft missing also. But if you see, it is the only mode to of transport to reach the most remote and distant areas because it moves in the air, and especially during the time of the natural disaster, uh, if we want to go to those extremely important areas, and if we don't have road connectivity or railway connectivity, at that time helicopters or aircrafts are extremely useful in accessing most inaccessible areas and in the time of calamities for rescue purpose, for distributing water, clothes, food, and medicines. And if you see the some of the most important airports are Delhi, Mumbai, New York, London, Paris, Frankfurt, and Cairo. Now, if you see the definition of communication, what is communication is actually the process of conveying message to others, to 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 develop a communication between receiver or sender. And with the development of technology, humans have devised new and faster modes of communication. If you see this figure 7.10, it shows the progress in the means of communication from pigeon to postman to me to newspaper or mail, and presently to the internet mail, and there are various type of communications. And also these days different type modes of communication are used to provide information, to educate as well as to entertain. And newspaper, radio and television are known as mass media because with these newspaper, radio and television we can communicate with a large number of people, and that is why they are known as mass media. Mass means large and medium is to medium. Medium is for entertainment, for education, for giving information. And satellites have made actually the communication very faster these days, and satellites have helped in oil exploration, surveying of the forest, underground water, mineral wealth, weather forecasting, and disaster warning. And now even we can send electronic mails or emails through internet. Wireless telephonic communications through cellular phones have also been very popular these days. And internet not only provides us with a worldwide information and interaction, but also made our lives more comfortable. And we can even reserve our ticket for railways, we can pay the bills, we can book the air ticket, we can book even the cinema and ticket and even the hotel sitting at the home. So with this kind of development or of interconnectivity of people, services and institutions across the world, we are becoming a largely global society. And this is the map given showing major sea and airports, major air routes, major sea routes. This is not of much important. This is just a map, and you can see the most famous or the most connected airports and seaports in the world. Now see the exercise of this chapter. What are the four means of transport? Obviously, the roadways, railways, waterways, and airways. Then, what do you understand by the term settlement? Obviously, settlement is where people start living and where people start making some form of house or dwelling for living purpose, for fooding and other activities. Then, what are the activities practiced by the rural people? Agriculture, fishing, and all the other primary activities. Then, two merits of railway, they are very cheaper, and the large amount of goods can be moved from one place to another quickly and cheaply. And they are also, railways are well developed on the plain areas, and it is railways are very efficient and very common for the poor people. And poor people, actually they are the boon for the poor people. So there are various type of merits of railways. Communication means to connect with the other people, to send a proper message, or you can see this definition is given here also. It is a process of conveying message to the others. Then what is mass media? Mass media means to provide information, to provide knowledge, to entertain a large number of people. And the mass media are sources of the mass media are newspapers, radio, and TV. Now we will see the objective, which is not a means of communication. Telephone is a mean of communication. Books are means of communication. So option would be C. Table is not a means of communication. Which type of road is constructed under the ground? Obviously subways. We have saw the We saw the definition of subways. Then which mode of transport is most suitable to reach an island? It is ship. A. Which vehicle does not pollute the environment? Then match the following. Internet is a mean of communication. Canal route is inland waterway. In urban areas where people are engaged in manufacturing, trade and services. Apartments are closely built areas of houses. Then give reasons. Today's work is shrinking. What is shrinking? Because the population is increasing day by day, day by day. So people are making houses, and the land is availability is becoming less and less. So that is why the problems of slums, congested areas in the urban areas is there, and that is why the word. So please subscribe our channel for more NCERT videos from class 7 for geography, polity, history, and other GK videos and other chess videos and current affairs videos. And we have also started making the last year solved paper series, and we have made some papers of UPPCS. And in the coming days, we are going to cover more papers for UPSC. And you all the best videos of the GS, all the study material for GS, full study material of GS. You can take our pen drive course, or you can take our email update course also. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you.